Whoops. Wrong glasses. Too much ceiling. There we go. There we go. Supplies. Surprise. Yeah. Yeah, here we are. Some of you knew to expect me here, but not everybody. So good morning. Good morning, folks. Or, I don't know. Actually, technically, I guess it could be morning. Yeah, for the most part, I think all of the time zones, at least in the US, are pretty much on the morning thing. ID Princess, nice to see you. Sweet Rain Cynthia. Kim, and also, good morning. Yeah, I'll raise my little cup to you. My cool Marimekko cup that is not mine, but still pretty awesome. So yeah, I am on the West Coast for another number of days until I head back east. And I just did a really fun declutter party. I participated in, I was hostessing, and it was really fun. Yes, we are on the same time zone, right? Can you imagine? Yep, okay, Sweet Rain Cynthia's in Oregon, love it. Oregon. Let's call the whole thing off. So yeah, I decided at the end of the declutter party, I said, it's relatively early here. It's about 8:02 where I am. I'm in Palm Springs, California, one of my happy places. And so I decided to show up and just say hello to the folks that have followed me in the past on TikTok, to say hola and pleased to meet you, to new people who are just finding me today on TikTok, but then also to remind you that I don't spend a lot of time on TikTok, but I do a lot more over on YouTube. I do daily declutter parties, daily TikTok lives or YouTube lives. It's still early in my brain. I'm trying to get myself back on East Coast time, so I was up at like 5 a.m. this morning, because that would only be 8 a.m., but I digress. Daily YouTube lives, one-on-one coaching, pretty much almost a number of declutter parties and all sorts of fun stuff. So yay, Oregon. Thank you, Oregon. Love it. And ID Princess is going to Oregon now. I love it. So very cool. So if we have not met before, hello, my name is Beth. I'm a decluttering life coach. You may hear me say this throughout the hour that I'm going to be on, because I will be here, that one persona. Sam, long time no see, huh? So I will be here for the next 57 minutes or so, helping you with your clutter. Now notice, I'm not even at my house. I'm at somebody else's house, taking care of Miss Cryan over there, who I am telling you, I just gave her breakfast, I gave her her treat, and I brought some little extra treats for her too. So if you hear her in the background, she's just probably looking for her mama. Erin, good morning. Yay. Yes, tell your friend I love her wallpaper. Yeah, you know what's cool? Check this out. I don't know if you can see it. This is the entrance to the house is right here. You can see the reflection of the front door. And I believe the wallpaper is original to the house. It was built in the 60s, 50s, or 60s. And check it out. They wallpapered the front hall closet so it doesn't even look like a closet door. It's just kind of seamless. Okay? But I will let her know that people were loving to see the background. I am a privacy person, though, so I wouldn't, if it was my house, it may be different. I would give you a little bit more of a tour. But just know that, yeah, she's got excellent taste. And she was kind enough to get in touch with me because she needed to leave town and she wanted somebody to take care of her kitty. And I love myself some Palm Springs. So anyhow, here I am, and I'm here to help you. Wherever you are, whatever state you're in, and that doesn't necessarily mean Oregon or Massachusetts. It means like, where are you? Or I got this. Are you between the, oh my God, I'm freaking out, and no big deal? Kind of like the emoji of the exploding head and the rolling eyes to the one with the sunglasses. Don't you want to be a bit more like the sunglasses emoji? I know I do. Yes, I am in Palm Springs right now, Erin. As somebody said the other day, I manifested this. Yeah, it is 8:05 in the morning. Do you hear that? I have the slider open, so those are the birds. This is really funny. This is really funny. I got to share with you guys. So I still do occasionally scroll on TikTok. I am really not participating. I am literally, except for these occasional unexpected TikTok pop-ups, I still scroll on TikTok, but I don't feel it's a stable platform to me to generate a lot of content for. However, have you guys seen that thing with the little plastic pointer hand and somebody goes like tap, 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 like you did this wrong. Put down the toilet seat. Put away the milk. Have you ever seen that? And there is a bird. I feel so bad. This bird keeps on trying to get in the Clear Story window, and he keeps on tapping, and I feel like it's like tap, 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 tapping. Like that. Come on, let me in. The little finger on the stick. Anyhow, I figured that people on TikTok would know what I'm talking about. Tap, 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 tap. I even sent one of those. You know, one of my love languages is sharing TikToks with people. And so to my husband, I sent one of those. I said, I may need one of these when we're on, it doesn't happen at home. He's usually really good, but there is some glitch in his system that makes him screw up with the toilet seat thing when we travel. It has become a routine, and not necessarily a comedy routine. But anyhow, I digress. All sorts of things. It is 8:07 in the morning where I'm in Palm Springs, California, one of my happy places. And I'm here to help you with your clutter. Now, as I said, I am here, you are there. So I legit can't help you physically move the things. That's okay. You can get anybody who can move things from one place to another, you can get those hands, okay? However, what I can help you with is not the hands, but the head and the heart. What you think about your clutter makes you feel a certain way. And when you feel a certain way about your clutter, you do a certain thing with your hands. And maybe you're doing like the Got a Lot of Living Anne Margaret dance. On the one hand, if you're thinking unhelpful, overwhelmed, discouraging thoughts about your clutter, you're probably feeling overwhelmed and discouraged. And when you feel overwhelmed and discouraged because you're thinking overwhelming and discouraging thoughts about your clutter, these are the two things that typically happen. Is either you don't do anything, you don't move anything, you don't give away anything, you don't put something away, or you cling on to it. And notice my grabby motion, this is mine, right? And this is a great thing. You have another hand. On the other hand, if you think less overwhelming thoughts, chunk it down, quiet down, less overwhelming thoughts about your clutter, you may feel less overwhelmed. And when you feel less overwhelmed, and dare I say even let's turn up the fun, more excited about what decluttering can do for you, how decluttering can improve your quality of life, when you think thoughts like that, you feel more encouraged. When you feel more encouraged, it means you have courage. So on the other hand, you can choose better thoughts, more helpful thoughts, then you end up feeling better, and when you feel better, you're going to do better. Now with this hand, and I love it because I'm left-handed, what I will offer is that you can get curious. You know, what is this item? Do I want it or not? Can I live with it? Can I live without it? Does it look good in my house? Does it function well? And you show up in curiosity, and then you listen to your heart when it's calling for you. You listen to yourself, and you do what you want to do with it. What you want to do with it. And that you can hold on to it. Oh my God, I'm totally on a musical world tonight, because you can be like Roxette, or you can be like, I think it's Molly Hatchet, where you can hold on loosely, but don't let go. You know, you can enjoy. Yes, I decided I want to keep that, and I feel good about it. Or you can decide that you want to let go of it. Let go. And let it find a better home. Right, Kitty? Right? She's right here on the table with me. Can't see her, but anyhow. So that's the part that I think, see, that's where I needed the help. I needed the help with my life practically. And this is why I'm a decluttering life coach. I'm a rebel Dottie, I'm a loner. Life. Is I needed somebody to show me a process about how it goes from your head to your heart to your hands. And why, Tenacious J, yo, Tenacious J. Have you read the book PTSD, Put That Stuff Down book? I have not. And that's okay. I bet you there's some good stuff in there. Hey, Christine, nice to see you. I bet there's some good stuff in there because people who write self-help books want, or declutter books, want to help people. They want to help them declutter. So I bet there's some good things like that. And yeah, I find myself feeling for inanimate things. Oh, welcome to the club. Welcome to the club. Because in the club we all fam, right? The official word for that, and I know this because it runs in my family, is anthropomorphism. Everybody, it's like Pee-wee's Playhouse. Whenever you hear anybody say anthropomorphism on today, you can scream real loud. I doubt you're going to hear it outside of this TikTok live. But when you tell stories to yourself about an object, I call that being a regular person. Now, there are people who don't do that. Life is different for them, but I'm not one of those people. We literally have a shortcut story about that between my sister and me, and literally it's called Poor Paper Plate. Because she looked at a paper plate on the side of the road and her husband joked that she was going to feel bad about the paper plate, right? So, it is totally okay if you tell yourself stories about your stuff. We are storytelling people. That's how we make sense of the world. Now, the interesting thing is, to me, living in somebody else's house for now over a week, I see items on the surface, but I don't know the story behind a goddamn one of them. I do not know where they came from, where she bought them, did she inherit them, how, what the story was, the provenance, as we would say in the art world. I do not know the deeper story, the one level down story. So everything is surface to me. Now that's fine. If I were here and it was my house, I could tell you where that plant came from, where those fake grapes, where that salt and pepper shaker came from, in my house. But if I don't know the stories, that just looks like surface to me, and I can deal with it without the story. Now, when you deal with things without the story, this is why it can be so much easier for you to help somebody else with their clutter, but it's more difficult for you to deal with your clutter because you hear that frequency. You are tuned into the frequency, like the radio station between you and whatever you look at in your own house. Okay. I can't drown rescuing things. Like Susie Orman says, need to prioritize people first, then money, then things. Yeah. You know what? Here, don't drown. Here, I'm sending you a life raft, okay? Hang on to this life raft and catch your breath, okay? Notice what you are rescuing. What are you rescuing it from? Now, trust me, I'm a rescuer. Heck, this kitty I'm staying with is a rescue. I rescue stuff too, but I don't try to save it all because I can't. And much like the analogy of if you're feeling like you're drowning and I sent you what do you call it? Like I threw like a little SS Minnow thing, right? A little round, what do you call it? Like a life preserver, okay? We're going to preserve your life. You can hang on to that and catch your breath. Because when you're in a less panicked mode, you're going to feel better. I love this because I usually work in the analogy of cars, but swimming is a really good analogy to decluttering too. Because if you're panicky in the water and you're flapping around, you're using energy that you can conserve and use to do something better. But you're wasting your energy when you're flapping around and freaking out. And if somebody else tries to help you and you are not actively trying to calm down yourself, you could kill the both of you, right? So I offer you a life raft. I offer you a little dinghy or whatever, calming down your nervous system, chunking down what you do. When you do that, that will help your brain shift, kind of like a gear shift in the car, shift from spinning your wheels and revving your engine and doing nothing to then getting in gear, but not just getting in any old gear, getting in a low and slow gear that gets you started, And not just getting in gear and just driving anywhere, driving to your destination decluttered. I don't know. That's the latest jingle I've come up with. Saying, before I even get into gear, what direction do I want to head in? Just like a road trip, where do you want to head? But a lot of that is so much more difficult if you're all freaking out and revving your engine and spinning your wheels and your gas and you don't know where to go. So shh. Even right then, turn off the engine. Don't waste your gas spinning out. Turn off the gas. Sit there in the driver's seat, because you're always in the driver's seat. And this is the phrase that pays. All the downs. Right? So all the downs. And the reason I call it that is because it just is what it is. Slowing down, breathing down, quieting down, calming down, settling down, chunking down, sitting down. Did I say that one already? It's okay. Repetition is good. Drinking down some water. Slowing down how you swallow that water. Noticing that you can slow down the way you inhale and exhale. Now, Danette says, I'm so comforting, but this is how we do it. Think of how you would comfort a kid who is all freaking out about stuff that there's really nothing to freak out about, but its nervous system is aggravated and it doesn't know how to regulate its own nervous system. Now, that's me getting into life coachy speak, and I don't like to kind of go there, but sometimes I do. But you know what? What would you do to a kitty who got scared by you rolling out the trash cans for the trash guys? The kitty, it's going to be like one of those Halloween cats. Zing! The hair goes up. What would you do? You would pet it down. You would quiet down. Shh, it's okay. It's okay. There's nothing wrong here. And there is nothing wrong. I teach you this so you can practice it on yourself. You can calm down and quiet down your own nervous system. That is something you do have some control over. There are plenty of things outside of the four walls of your house that you have very little direct control over. But when you have better control over your nervous system, when you realize you can choose how you feel, man, that's pretty cool. Now, I say this to you from the life coaching perspective because this is also directly associated with your decluttering. When you realize you can choose, you have a choice. Do I want to think unhelpful thoughts about my clutter? Maybe, because I've done it for decades. These are the stories I have told myself about clutter. And I've been doing that for so long that there's literally a groove in the road. Or it's like, that it just plays the same hits over and over again. You're listening to the same songs on the car radio. This is hard. It's going to be painful. I'm overwhelmed. I've always been this way. I came from a cluttered home. Those are the things that I used to say to myself. Do I still say them to myself sometimes? Yeah, I do when I get aggravated. But then what do? I stop in the name of love and I remind myself. I remind myself that I have a choice. I have a choice to think a better thought. For example, I choose to believe that poor bird, I wish he knew that nobody's in here. I tried to shoo him away. But I offer to you that this is why I'm a decluttering life coach, because when you know how to make yourself feel better, that is a power that nobody else can take away from you. It may throw you for a loop. Like sometimes you're driving and everything looks good, and then all of a sudden, out of nowhere, a gust of wind will come and bop your car. And if you're not holding on, you could steer off. But the closer, even when you get thrown off course temporarily, when you know how better to get back on the road, to get back on track, that something that throws you off to the side of the road doesn't keep you there. Yeah, I think he's fighting his reflection too. It's just so funny because the tap, tap, tap totally cracks me up. So funny. Here comes the wind. Here comes the rain again. It's not the rain, it's the goddamn wind. Okay? Now, Anne says, this is funny. There we go. She says, I know you don't prefer TikTok, but I do. You know, and you stop me scrolling in its tracks. I get back to work. Okay, so everybody, maybe you want to get some stuff done this morning. Now, to me, it's 8:21 in the morning, so I have hours before my next kind of scheduled thing today. Painting of a Duck likes me on the TikTok too. Yeah, I am very reticent about going back to TikTok. I may do some more TikTok lives, but I will offer to you all is, and this is why I do this, is sometimes it can be fun. Unexpected delight. Oh, look, this is something I did not expect. I didn't expect to be here. I decided to show up. However, I do schedule these things. So if you want to have a more regular, consistent check-in where you know you get stuff done when there's an actual live, then you know that my YouTube channel is a place to go. I like the both. Trust me, I'm all about structure and flexibility at the same time. Too much flexibility and you're kind of flopping along around the place. Too much structure is rigid. I like the balance. Yeah, okay, the ban is on hold until mid-June, and it's probably going to continue. It's probably going to continue being pushed off. So I'll do this when I feel like it. Now, the funny thing is that even if I wasn't, just to give you guys a heads up, I do traveling often, and sometimes I do these things when I'm traveling, much like I've been coaching and doing YouTube lives all week, and then we had a declutter party this morning, and there is a declutter party tomorrow, Sunday at noon, Eastern time. Sometimes when I travel, I do not. I go off the digital grid. So it just depends. I have a very flexible, but notice, I have structure and flexibility. You know? Yeah. Okay. And Anne says, I don't doom scroll on YouTube. I don't either. So don't doom scroll. How about joy scroll? You know, it's a me problem, but right now this helps. Yeah, hey, you know what? I'm happy to help. You know, I'm just showing with you that you know where to get me. Even if I'm not on TikTok, you know I'm here for you. And you can know when that is and where that is on the YouTube channel, Destination Decluttered on YouTube. And it would be goofy of me to not realize that some of you all, because when I do, this is the other cool thing I will say about the decluttering, the YouTube lives that I do, it is a substantially smaller number of people, so we can really get into good stuff. You can pretty much get almost free one-on-one coaching in a group environment by showing at the YouTube. So when you know you're stuck with something, you show up on one of those, and I'm not spending so many times reintroducing myself to the new people. Okay? That one persona, she said, just did my first declutter party. The focused attention helps. Beth, cheers on you as well. Yay! Cheers to you, my dear. Yeah. There we go. Anne is saying, today I'm clearing out antique drawers. I found amazing things. Also garbage and giveaways. Yeah. Notice you're going to find a variety of items when you declutter. I like to kind of group them into 3 categories. I'm all about categories. Remember that game? Categories. Name of. Stuff you'll find in antique drawers. Amazing things. Garbage. Giveaways, right? Categories. Okay? And there are 3 typical categories that I like to use when I describe clutter. There's surface clutter, there's stored clutter, and there's sentimental clutter. Surface clutter is on the surface. Stored clutter is stored. Sentimental is the stuff that tells you stories. Now, pretty much everything in your house is going to tell you a story. Where you got it, does it work, where does it go? You know? Yeah. And so notice that you're going to find a variety of things. It can be a treasure hunt. Like on this past declutter party, one of the people who showed up was in a storage unit, and she was going through boxes of stuff that was her mother's, boxes that she had not dealt with in 6 years. Yeah. And she was able to do that with the encouragement of not doing it alone and feeling the community of people kind of, we're all, there to support each other. And she was able to open up some boxes that she hadn't opened up in six years. And the neat thing is Anne says, and I love this, Anne is saying she's finding some good stuff and she's making room. She says she's reached out to 2 museums and 1 descendant to get some of these antiques to people who want them. And her sentimental clutter is quickly becoming giveaway to family, in a big part because of my coaching. Awesome. There we go. Yeah. No, I love this because what you're going to find is you have choices. You can choose to keep things. You can choose to give them away. But the first thing is awareness, is even just seeing what the heck you have. Really, just taking inventory, opening up that junk drawer and just looking at it to see what's in it and not judging yourself when you're looking at it. To open up a drawer of an antique desk and see what's in there. And it will probably be, if you're cluttered, and quadrillions of us are, a variety of objects. And part of decluttering is deciding what you want and what you don't, but also how many of an item you feel like you can have. The quality and quantity of what you have, And also deciding if you want to maintain a decluttered home. If you want to do massive declutters and then not do any and then let it pile up again and then having to do a massive declutter, or, like I suggest, do that massive declutter, but learn how to do it well. And at the same time you're knocking down the piles of things from decades, you learn on a daily basis how to rewire your habits in your brain so that you no longer are cluttering up your house the way you used to. Okay? So, that's a lot of what I do here. And I totally got myself sidetracked because I easily get distracted by, not distracted, your comments are one of the reasons I'm here, but just real quick. If you like what I'm doing and you want to find out when I do show up on declutter parties, if you want to find out more about those, if you want to just know the schedule of my YouTube lives, destinationdecluttered.com is my website. On my website, it's a cute little form that just says you want to jumpstart. I think that's what it says. Put your email address in. Promise you're not a robot, because I only coach humans. I do not coach robots. And hit the submit button, and then you'll be sent a automatic email, and that automatic email has a hyperlink on it to a secret page on my website that gives you all that information for free. Okay? destinationdecluttered.com. Sign up if you're interested in any of that. It's all free. Sant Fox is saying 23 years for storage of my mother's stuff. Wow. You helped me open up boxes and truckloads have been donated. All because of you. Thank you. And Anne says, it's great. I'm starting what feels like a controlled, gentle purge. Controlled and gentle. Doesn't that feel nice? To feel like it doesn't have to hurt, that it's gentle, to feel in control of what you do and when you do it and how you do it. Yeah. And Sandfox says, the biggest takeaway is awareness. You really helped me to reframe my thoughts, and I so appreciate it. Yeah. Oh, that's right. And so you're welcome. And Christine is also offering print up the pavers and potholes while you're there. If you don't know what pavers and potholes are, it's pretty much my sassy name for a habit tracker. I've got mine right here. I can show it to you and check it out. See this whole pink section? That's my Palm Springs section. Notice I've got a few more days, and heck, I've got to print out one for May when I've got home. What that does is that can help you. That's one of the many tools in your toolkit, as I like to say, that you can use to help you do things on a daily basis, small and incremental things on a daily basis that will help you feel better. Okay, so that's another thing that's free if you want to sign up for the mailing list, and you get that all. There we go. I love this printable. Gave one to my mother too. Yeah, anything that I share here, anything, is free to share with anybody else. The world would be a better place if more people knew that they could change what they don't like in their homes as far as clutter goes. That they can have gone through their entire lives listening to unhelpful thoughts in their heads, and then whenever they decide to, they can disrupt it. They can interrupt. Hey, no, stop. I'm sick of hearing you talk like that anymore. Makes me feel like shit. This is what I call actually my backseat driver. You know, the person who's like, don't do that, don't do that, don't do that, don't do that. Do what I want you to do. Don't drive there. Drive where I want you to do. Don't do it that way. Do it the way I want you to do it. Now, occasionally, they might have a good idea. Always be open to subjection, but also run their ideas past what you want, how you want to do things. the pace you want to move forward, the way that you want to do it. I want to do it in a gentle and controlled manner. I don't know why this popped up in my head, but since it did, I will offer it to you. Think about the difference between a raging wildfire and a controlled burn. Think of the difference between something raging out of control and something in control. Which one feels better? Do you feel better? You have a choice. Do you feel better when you're out of control? Out of control, troll. Anybody? You too? 1980 something? Out of control or more in control? Now, not rigidly controlling, but more in control. Noticing that you can do something. You can stop an unhelpful thought. You can play around with it. You can decide what words you'd rather hear in your head. It's like changing the radio station to a better song. You have control over the car radio in your life. Okay? Yeah. You can choose that. And here's the thing too, and I think this is great because Anne, I'm doing the same thing. Anne is going through her family stuff. So she's hitting on a vein of sentimental items. Now here's the great thing about being the declutterer. Here's the great thing about being the archivist. The person, you are in control of what stories live on. You are in control of what people get erased from the family history. You get to choose what stories are told about certain people. You know, so she's saying this is snarky but therapeutic. I am all about the snark and the therapy at the same time, okay? There was some abuse in my family and I get to decide how those people are remembered. And some stuff just feels good to throw away ceremoniously or unceremoniously. Why not do it both? I'm making a ceremony. I'm creating a funeral pyre of all those love notes from me and my first ex-husband. My first ex-husband, that implies there's going to be a second one. There will be no other ex-husband. My current husband is the best husband forever, even though he does kind of aggravate me on times, as I'm sure I did too. Okay? You are in control. When you choose, when you are the one who's in control, you get to decide. Yeah, people don't think about who's in charge of the legacy. I'm pretty accurate. Yeah. You know what? And here's the thing. How do you want to be remembered? What do you want your legacy to be? Oh, Grandma was a hoarder. Not Grandma got run over by a reindeer. My grandfather filled barns of things up New Hampshire. It's me right here. My grandmother's house, the attic was full. On the other side of the family, the attic was full of stuff they hadn't used in years. The back shed was full of stuff. That's where I came from. But how do I want to be remembered? Yeah, how do I want to be remembered? I want to be remembered as the auntie who kicked ass, who noticed where she came from and said, okay, noted, but that's not what I want to do. If you notice, I am not on Cape Cod right now. I am not dressed in white and blue, nor do I care to ever be preppy. Now, that's something that was really important to my parents. It was, because they didn't come from that world, and so that looked like success to them. I never had any interest. Look at me. Look at me. I'm wearing bright colors. I'm sitting out here, house sitting for almost 2 weeks in Palm Springs, California, my happy place, because I chose what I wanted. So do not underestimate the power of the skills that you learn when you start to declutter. Because at the very core of it, I will share with you. And I love this. Anne says, Beth, I so appreciate you. I found you at just the right time. Hey, you know what? When the student is ready, this teacher appears. And I choose to believe that the universe puts me in front of people when they're ready to hear me. And if no big deal if they don't, right? But what I want to offer to you is you have control over some good stuff. And at the core of it all are two really simple, 3, 4, 5, heck, I'm not going to write a book, but a couple of things that I think are the real kind of core things that can really change. And they seem overly simple, but that's good because they can be easy to remember. One is you have a choice. 2 hands. One side or the other side. You can choose between being in fear, thinking unhelpful thoughts, fear, feeling fear, reacting to fear. Or you can choose the side of love. Now, I'm no 1967, 68 hippie by any means. However, love is where it's at. It is. When you think more loving thoughts, when you are more kind to yourself, when you quiet yourself down, when you calm yourself down like an aggravated kitty, when you calm yourself down and quiet down and treat yourself with love, and then ask yourself, what do I want? And you love yourself enough to quiet down the backseat drivers until your co-pilot, your soul, says, what do I want? And then you allow yourself to answer because you're not being rude and interrupting yourself. And then figuring out what you want, even at the microscopic level, and then getting what you want. That builds your muscle. Then you say, what else do I want? I want this. And I'm not talking about buying boats and stuff. I literally, I want to live in a house that looks good to me. I want to sit down at my kitchen table and have a place to put my cereal bowl. I want to feel better in my body, and I want to feel better about my life. What do I want? Is literally, I've written it down for myself, and if I was at home, I'd be looking up at it right now, but I can picture it in my mind's eye. What do I want? And you deserve what you want. I want to live in a world not full of fear. I want to live in a world full of love. I want to be in a world of kindness. I want to feel like when I died that I made good use of my time here on earth. Okay, so notice that's love. Now, on the other hand, really the only thing that's keeping us stuck is fear. But again, look at hindsight with human history. The war between good and bad, evil and good, that angels and devils and all that. It's a tale as old as time, right? But we're living that story within our own individual selves. Pebbles is saying, I can't get rid of the skinny clothes. What if I lose the weight? Okay, so notice what happens right there. Notice. You are saying you can't do something. Technically you can, but I know the difference between just saying, oh, just do it. But notice the fear that Pebbles has. I am afraid, fear. I am afraid that if I get rid of my skinny clothes, it means that I will never be skinny again. Or, I'm just riffing here, I don't know the real ones, but it's like, I am afraid that if I get rid of my skinny clothes and lose weight, I'm afraid that I am going to have to spend money to buy more skinny clothes. I am afraid that if I don't keep those there as a reminder that I was skinny, that I'm going to forget that, and that skinny part of me is long gone. I am afraid that if I throw away or donate my skinny clothes, that I've given up on changing my body. So what I say this is, we're not an all or nothing kind of group here. We are a yes and kind of group. Yeah, so notice Pebbles. What you can say instead is, yeah, I'm afraid that the skinny part of me will be gone and given up. How about this? Hey, you know what? When you get skinny again, if you choose to get skinny again, and you do, you can go and buy yourself new outfits that will fit your body and how it's skinny now. You can get some new clothes, and they don't have to be brand new. They could be inexpensive. You could thrift them for all you want. So you can't say, oh, I'll be wasting money. I am telling you guys, it is fascinating how money is like a little interesting little thing that kind of weaves itself into a lot of our thoughts. Okay? Yeah. Yep. Skinny clothes, I actually bought more new than I kept. Yeah, you can actually, and you can still, you don't need to save all your skinny clothes. You could, and again, this is all up to you. What do I want? I want to keep 3 outfits of skinny clothes, my faves, and then I can declutter the rest. Now, some of you have heard me on the YouTube lives that I've done that I've been here for a week. I brought some clothes with me that I wasn't sure I was going to wear, and it wasn't working for me at home. So you know what I did? I brought them here because I knew I'm sure I could find a place to donate them, and I did. I brought a handful of t-shirts and a pair of slippers that I tried on, and I was like, if I'm not going to wear them in Palm Springs, when am I going to wear them? And they did not fit. I am skinnier than I was a few months ago, but I am still not skinnier than I was, and even differently, like my body weight has shifted. Even just my comfort of finding more comfortable t-shirts than the ones I was wearing. And being okay with letting them go. Did I get rid of all of my clothes? No. I got rid of some. So I would say this to Pebbles and to anybody. Just notice that you have a choice in what you tell yourself. You have a choice in the words that you decide to believe to be true and then acting on those ones. You know? And she says, you're right. They're probably out of style. Yeah, they could be. It's weird how different things can go out of style. Remember low-rise jeans? And now you've got the mom jeans? Well, the other day, I bought some new underpants, and I didn't realize they were like the bikini ones. Now, I used to wear those when my jeans were cut lower, but now I've got some jeans that are a little bit higher because I've got belly fat because of menopause. And man, was I uncomfortable in those bikini underpants because it was like this gaposis, this thing right here. So you know what I did? I threw them away. Ain't nobody gonna want my dirty underpants or even just they were clean. Nobody's gonna want underpants. It was one pair. I threw it in the trash as opposed to being aggravated because they didn't fit the way I wanted to. Hey, yay, it was nice to hear from you. This is great. Lori Hanna is chiming in, everybody. Lori Hanna and I do one-on-one coaching, and we did 4 packages together. She was dealing with her own clutter, and like probably a lot of you are, because a lot of my clients are, because we're of a certain age, of dealing with somebody else's clutter, parental clutter, cleaning out houses in order to sell them or to live in them. So Lori says, Beth is the best coach. I did 4 sessions, packages, to learning the good behaviors, and I'm doing well on my own. Yay. I'm so psyched to hear from you, Lori Hanna. That is so great, you know? So, yeah, I love that. Okay, so Amber, you're having a really tough morning, and I'm hoping listening will help reset my day. And Anne is even asking, how can we help? Yeah, you could just start fresh. And notice how quickly Pebbles, I will just, as Amber, okay, yeah. But I will say this, Amber, if you want to put any particulars in there, I can craft a message that would be a little bit more accurate to what you're doing. See, this is the difference between kind of coaching in public, being in a group coaching basically, and a one-on-one thing. That there may be things you don't want to reveal in front of other people. I totally get that. But notice that much like surgery, the more precise you can be about what is hurting, the more accurately you can go and say, oh, it's right there. Instead of being, oh, it's my foot, you could be like, oh, it's my pinky toe. A little bit more specific. But again, I don't pressure you into anything. Hopefully what I say is scalable enough and universal enough that whatever you need, trust that whatever you need to make you feel better is being presented to you right now. Okay? Now, notice what I was going to say is getting back to kind of skinny clothes. Notice that Pebbles is saying, I should just get rid of them and start fresh. You could, but notice should. Should is a word that we like to use, but should also implies a little bit of resistance. So how about these words? You know, I can get rid of all of them if I want to. I want to get rid of them because. I don't want to get rid of them because. Write those things down. You know, I get to. This is a really good one. This really gets you in that abundance mindset, as we like to talk about. Lack is I can't, no, and I need to cling on to it because if I don't have it here, then it will never come again. A fixed mindset. But when you say I can, I choose to let go of these things, I trust that if I lose the weight, there will be clothes that are made in that size that I can buy. And I trust that I have enough. Because think about it. Think about the fact that clutter is not the good stuff. Clutter is the items in your life. Clutter are the items in your life that part of you is hanging on to, but here's why there's tension. One side is saying hang on to it, and the other side is saying let it go, and that's why there's tension. And it's between, I say it's like this, but it's really between the head and the heart, right? Because your heart tends to be, I would say this, your heart is affected by the stories you tell, but it is a real game changer. It is the gatekeeper between what happens that you think about something and if you're doing something. Between the heart, between the head and the hands is the heart. Think of them in that order. Because if there's a green light in your head and a green light in your heart, you're pretty much going to be doing the thing. But if you think of doing something and you're not doing it with your hands, I don't care what it is, there is a thought that is stopping you because the thought is what causes you to feel a feeling. That is my way of, that's like my, what's that word from math? That's like my thing. That's where I start all of my stuff. And then I like proving my thesis, I guess. And that has proven to be right so many times with myself that I just shared this as an idea to think of with you. When I am not doing something that I say I want to do, I look for the fearful thought. What am I afraid is going to happen if I say that thing I want out loud to people who can help me get it? What am I afraid of? I'm afraid that they're going to say, "You're crazy. That never happens." No. Okay. If I never say what I want, it definitely won't happen. But when you figure out what you want and you communicate it, when you get it out to another person or just the universe and another person, and not just any random person, but somebody who could help you, who you know who could help you get to where you want, that increases the likelihood of you getting what you want by like double digits. Let's call it there. Okay. Now, I just realized that the comments stopped and I'm going to need to flip through them. But notice the fear. And there's that thing, let me just finish this one, that feel the fear and do it anyway. Feel the fear, yeah, and do it anyway, but notice that it isn't a fight between you and fear. You notice, oh, fear, you're here. Fear to me shows up when there's when there's something that you know you want, that if you say, oh, thank you, okay, I'm going to go this way. I see you're there, but I'm still going to move in that direction. Fear shows up when you know that there's like another level of the game to go to. So think of fear in a way as alerting you to, oh, if I'm fearful of this, there's like, I don't want to say there's growth, because I don't want to say who wants to grow, but there's something good that could be on the other side of your fear. Hell's a poppin'. I have learned that myself. Being afraid to stand up for myself in my first marriage and say, no, that will not do. I deserve better. That was scary. If I kept being scared, I'd be in a shitty marriage. I did the scary thing, and it was scary because I was unused to it. But then the more you practice it, the less scary it becomes. Okay? So, just a couple of things. All right, now Anne says, I have a ton of clothes between summer and winter temperature clothes, casual, formal, dirty work. You know what? Categories. Categories. Okay? You've got categories. I've got my categories. I totally do. It's so funny to even think of me wearing colors like this, because this is the stuff I would wear in Palm Springs, in the summer. But other than that, look at me. I'm like a black t-shirt queen. Long sleeve t-shirts, short sleeve t-shirts. But you can chunk it down. When I go home, My summer clothes are still in totes in the bottom of my closet. I still have my truly winter clothes hanging up. But when it gets trustingly warm enough when I'm back home in Pennsylvania, I will do a swap. And while I'm doing that swap, and I've started it already because we've done a number of trips, is I've started to look at what I put away the last time it was warm. And I've said, okay, did I wear that last year? Do I want to wear that this year? Have my tastes changed? Has my body changed? Has that t-shirt aged well? Yeah. Okay. Alrighty. So Gina, let me back up because Amber, I just saw your comment and I don't want you to feel like I ignored it. I just saw it popping up, okay? So it's my mother who is very toxic. So notice that your mother is poison and has essentially said, I'm a bad mother. Now, here's a phrase from my mother to you, from me. Consider the source. With everybody here, with the news in the world, with the people in your life, with the words in your head and your heart, I want you to remember, consider the source. Look who is telling you that thing. Is that a trustworthy source? Is that a source of information that has been proven to be truthful? And if you don't trust the source, you don't have to trust what they say. Here's another way of looking at it. Somebody throws a piece of dog poop at you, right? Now, you may be in the habit of somebody throwing something at you, so your reaction may be to catch it. Oh, they threw something at me. Okay, so you caught it. Your mom's bad words are like a piece of dog poop in your hands. Well, you can choose whether you hang on to that poop and believe it and keep it, or you say, blurg, fuck no, and you throw it down as soon as you notice it. And then you go wipe your hands so there's no evidence of it. Okay? Amber, it can hurt when the people who are supposed to love you treat you like they don't love you. But you can love yourself and put up boundaries. Okay? Yeah. And I will offer this. Amber, I am a parentified oldest daughter from a parentified oldest daughter from a parentified oldest daughter. Why do you think I don't have children? So I offer to you. I know it can be familiar to dwell on that, to say, I can't stop thinking about it. Boom. Yes, you can. Yes, you can. Stop and redirect. Stop. You're redirecting traffic. You've got a wonderful little traffic cop who holds up the hand, who has the big sign that says stop, and you can disrupt that thought. You do have a choice. It may not feel like it, but you do have a choice. And I just offer to you, choose some words in your head that make you feel better. Look for evidence. Write down your evidence of good things. Here's my book of how I am a good parent. And F you, mom, who's being a bad parent because she's being mean to you. Okay? So, yeah. Exactly. And notice, Anne, thank you so much for helping with Amber. Imagine someone talking to your kids the way she's talking to you. I bet it would be a hard no. Would you want those kids to hang out with that person? You know, and this may be harsh, you know? Okay? This may be harsh to some people, but I say this with all love in my heart. There's family of blood and there's family of choice. And sometimes we are related to people that in real life, if we had the choice to walk away from them and not be friends with them, we would totally do it in a heartbeat. They would be people you would not choose to hang out with, and yet because of societal conventions, we feel societally obligated to hang around with family, even if we don't get along with them. But you, just because you have to, how can you minimize the amount of time you are exposing yourself to that poison? You might not be able to You might not be able to change a poisonous person. Don't even try. I mean, you can try, but don't expect anything. But what you can do is change how you react to their poison. How quickly can you give yourself an antidote to their toxicity? Okay? And Amber, I will just share with you, you can do this. You are worth taking your time to learn how to put up your little traffic cop hand and say, shut the fuck up. And tell yourself a better story. Okay? Yeah. You got this. And I'm here for you. I do this all the time. I'm probably doing what I do now because I am a parentified oldest daughter who had to take care of her kids, her sisters when she was growing up. And, I don't know. Here I am. This is what I do. And I'm really psyched to do it. And I'm so much better doing this than anything else I can imagine doing at this time. Now, okay, so user 1963, nice to see you. I know you say to take it slow and thorough with no regrets. I am, but my family has no patience. All right, you know what? Get them involved. All right, get them involved. If they have no patience with you, why are they in such a rush? Are they waiting for you to declutter the whole place? Now, here's the thing. I am team you. I could really give a shit about anybody else in your life. I am here for you. And if they are making you feel like you're not going fast enough, get them involved. They need to do it. Here's my deal. This is a soapbox that I'm happy to lose followers on. Because if you follow me and I don't tell you this and we're on different minds, it's just not going to work. If you live alone, you are responsible for all the clutter around you. However, if you live in a home with more than one person, then you are not the only person who has to declutter and maintain a decluttered home. Everybody who lives in a home together benefits from a well-run home. Ergo, everybody, it's a community. Everybody needs to participate and do their part, whatever their part is, in decluttering and maintaining a decluttered home. Because once those people realize that it's not as easy as they think it is, and that's why aren't you doing this faster? Not only will they learn the life skill of decluttering, because decluttering really is being able to take care of yourself, the things that you're responsible for, to say, yes, I want this, and take care of it, and no, I don't want that, and release it. This is a skill. I don't care how old you are. I don't care what decade of life you are in. Decluttering and knowing how to take care of yourself is a life skill. So I would say this. I would say, 1963, yeah, put up the traffic cop hand and tell them, stop talking to me like that. You need to take care of your own stuff. And we're going to reestablish a new dynamic here in this communal household because I am no longer going to be the point person for all things decluttering. No. Now, if you want to be the one person and be the martyr or be the whatever, own it, love it, don't bitch about it. But if you're bitching about it, a complaint is an indication of something that's misaligned. It's like a squeaky wheel. So figure out not only just the grease, but why is it squeaking in the first place? And change it. Realign your wheels. Okay? I am here for you to help you stand up if those people who benefit from your work. So they may complain about it. They may resist. No, oh shit, now she's on to me. Now I'm going to have to do my part. I'd rather just sit here and have somebody wait on me hand and foot. Not on my watch. Okay? Yeah. Yes. So I just offered to you. It's 9 o'clock in the morning here where I am. I'm in Palm Springs, California, and I've been up since, God, like 5 a.m., 4 a.m., because I'm trying to keep myself on my East Coast schedule. My name is Beth. Destination Decluttered is my decluttering life coaching. You can follow me here on TikTok, but man, you're not going to see a lot of activity here. The better place to follow me is Destination Decluttered on YouTube, and even better, free mailing list. Free. I send infrequent emails, but every one of them is something good. But you get access to a hidden page just for people who have signed up for the mailing list that has invites to these declutter parties. It has a free habit tracker you can download. It has what I call the TV guide of when the next YouTube Live is scheduled, and a whole bunch of other things. Also, the people on the mailing list are going to be the first ones to be alerted when I open up my coaching calendar for one-on-one clients again. Erin is asking, are you going live again today? Probably not. No, because I am up early today, but I will leave you this, okay? And destination, let me just do this. DestinationDecluttered.com is the website. That's where you sign up for the mailing list, okay? If you don't like it, you can always unsubscribe. But you know what? You try it. You may like it, right? So I want to offer to all of you, Erin Mulcahy Dunn, I am not going live today except in your head and your heart. So remember my words when you're going through your decluttering. And you deserve to live in a house that looks good to you. You deserve to let go of the things that are like dog poop in your hand. Yeah. And it may feel difficult and unusual because it's not the way you have done things in the past. That's okay. You are unlearning some unhelpful habits, and you are learning some more helpful habits. Okay? Damn it, Donna. Yeah, you're kind of late, but you know what to do. You do, because you've been here long enough. Here's the thing, too. If you want to have my chatter in the background, because my chatter does, my words feel better because they come from love and curiosity and compassion. They are the opposite vibe of the backseat drivers, and therefore it kind of quiets them down, kind of like noise canceling headphones. But I want to offer to you that here's the thing. I'm going to sign off momentarily, but if you want the experience of having another YouTube or TikTok live in the background, there are over 675 recorded videos on my YouTube channel, Destination Decluttered YouTube. And so you can have one on demand. I demand. Now, if you demand to me, I will probably flip the bird. But if you want a video on demand, you've got 675, you know? And yes, there we go. Erin said it too. Awesome. Go to the Destination Decluttered YouTube page. Tons of lives recorded there for free. No Limits is saying the same thing. So I offer to you, just because I'm not live legit, I can be live in your head and your heart and as you do things with your hands. Just let it keep playing in the background and you will get things done. I love that. Now, in the meantime, what I'm going to do is I'm going to get some stuff done. It's not windy out, so I'm going to go for a walk. I haven't been able to go for a nice morning walk. I love it. Christine says playing the videos while plugging away is so helpful. I cannot describe how much. So experiment. It's free. Try it. You may like it. I will not be doing another TikTok live until I don't know when. There is a YouTube live scheduled for Monday. Tomorrow there is a decluttering party that is scheduled for noon Eastern until 1:30 Eastern. If any of that appeals to you, sign up for the mailing list, or if you're on the mailing list already, check the secret page, okay? And yes, Sand Fox, boy howdy, am I going to enjoy the life out of Palm Springs. I'm going to savor it, and I'm going to do the best I can with the time I have here. You don't need to worry about that. But I am here for you. You got this. You can do it. Have a good Saturday, okay? Bye.